Whew, it's been a couple of weeks. Let's get you caught up on training for chili pepper. Alright, so the long and the short of it is, it's been a couple weeks since I've managed to get something uploaded to YouTube, because life has been insane. The last time I think I posted something about training for chili pepper was right after doing my long run the week we were leaving for New Hampshire. So I went on vacation for a week and a half, the wife and the daughter and I, and we drove from here in Ruston, Louisiana, all the way up to New Hampshire, hung out with my dad and some other for a couple days, and we went to Connecticut, hung out with some other relatives of mine for a couple days, and then I drove down to North Carolina and hung out with my in-laws for a couple days, and then finally made it home. So it was an awesome road trip. It was great. Obviously, while road tripping, the normal training plan kind of out the window, especially because we were really road tripping it on the way up and for part of the way back. So we drive for a few hours, stop, get out, do something fun, get back in the car, drive for a little more. And we did it over 3 days going up. It's not like we just got in the car and up there. But overall, training's going pretty well. It was really nice to get an opportunity to get some training in New Hampshire, where the lows were in the high 40s, low 50s, and the humidity was much lower than here. And also in North Carolina, where it was also cooler than here. Not quite as cool as being in New Hampshire and Connecticut, but definitely cool enough because we were at elevation in Lake Toxaway, about 45 minutes or so outside of Asheville, North Carolina, if you know where that is. Getting to run on some trails. And so while the paces I was running at weren't super speedy or anything, because I was trail running, the couple of runs I got to do there, I got as much elevation gain in any given run that I normally get in a week here in Ruston. So it was actually kind of good, mixed up a little bit, working on a little bit of leg strength stuff, especially since I wasn't going to the gym while I was traveling. And yeah, it was good. So let's take a look at Strava and we'll see what we got going on. So this is what the last couple of weeks have looked like. And so it's a little spotty. You can see down here, this is when the last video was posted, I believe. Did 12 easy miles at the loop. I wasn't quite trying to go nuts, but it was 12 miles, the longest long run I've done in a while, as you can see. I've done some 10 milers, but getting out there for 12 miles, kind of taking my time. I was out there for a little more than an hour and a half. Not super fast, but it was a good long run, felt good. Got in some recovery miles. Next day, I think I went up to the trail, so I get shaded because I didn't get started until about 10. And then we had our Wednesday morning speed work, and this was great. It was a great workout. I just kind of followed right on Troy's shoulder for most of it. The last couple of reps, I kind of took the lead. But I am not ashamed to say that I was more than willing to let him set the pace. And we kind of hit the splits right where we want them to be. We were only taking 1 minute recovery between them. And yeah, all in all, it was good. We missed a little bit. I think I forgot to start my watch for one of the striders or something like that. But it was awesome. Our splits here, we had 77. So I've been trying to hit them at about 75. So the first one we ran at 79. So the first one was a little slow. I think I was a little tired from that 12 miler on Monday. Then 77, 76, 74, 76, 73, 75, 76, 75, 72. Starting to pick it up a little bit. A little extra recovery on this one. 75, 71. Again, I think it was a little friskier because we had a little extra recovery. Then I got a 3 mile cool down in. So all in all, I was pretty happy with that one. That was a pretty good workout. Right after doing speed work, I came home, I got in the car, and I drove all day. So needless to say, I was really stiff by the time I got out of the car on Thursday. So I made sure to get just an easy 10-minute shuffle in so I could stretch. Ended up taking Friday off, the rest of the traveling, getting to New Hampshire. I did some walking around and that kind of thing, but I didn't actually work out I was feeling kind of beat up, and, mostly from traveling, I'm pretty sure, especially with the 400s right before hopping in the car for driving all day. Then I got to my dad's house, and I hopped on they have a nice, at this point, it's fairly old, Rails to Trail program, and just, ran 4 miles out, turned around 4 miles back, super smooth, and felt great. And then the next day, went out, got about 7 in, kind of doing the same thing, not really trying to push it. But if you notice, the average pace on this one is only 7:33 a mile. That's about what I've been doing here. But by the next day, dropping down to 7:17 pace, and I was not pushing at all. Um, it was definitely not super hard for me. My average heart rate was still, having a hard time getting up above 150. And, just moving easy, but the times were 20, 30, 40 seconds per mile faster than running here in Louisiana. So it just goes to point out how much temperature and humidity plays a big role in how fast you can run. And then I did a nice quality long run on Monday, and it was pretty good. Again, rails to trail. I went up to the mill and hopped on the trail all the way up, following along Route 12. And this patch through here, there's a couple little hills. It's generally uphill on the way out, generally downhill on the way back. There's a little spur here where I went out to a farm to make use of a restroom. But yeah, so I went 6.5 out, and then did 4 sets of 5 minutes at threshold with 1 minute easy. Although I think one of them was only 4 minutes. I think I miscalculated, kind of doing the math. But that's okay. That happens. In the grand scheme of things, it's still, 19 minutes at threshold, not super crazy. You see my heart rate, nice and smooth. My heart rate wasn't really getting up. Even that last one, kind of opening up a little bit, only got up to like 170. And it was, so heart rate wise, was probably not quite hitting threshold pace, but my legs were feeling it. Because I just haven't been able to hit those paces that we were getting down here in a while, and we were getting about 6 minute pace in there while we were doing those spits. So all in all, it was pretty good. I was pretty happy with that workout. It felt really good to do some faster stuff and not feel like I was going to cook. So overall, weekly mileage the week we left was pretty good. It hit 41. Did not get as many miles in while we were traveling, which didn't really surprise me. I kind of expected that. So before leaving New Hampshire, we did this 12.5 mile run on Monday. Tuesday, did a little bit of a recovery run, kind of opened up a little bit on the tail end because I just couldn't help myself. Got to Connecticut, and there was a raccoon kind of stumbling across the road when I went for a 4-mile run. I was super tired, stayed up super late playing games with my cousins, and just hanging out, talking with my cousins and my uncle. It was great. It was worth sacrificing some miles to be able to stay up and actually talk to family I hadn't seen in a while. We drove Pennsylvania this day, drove the rest of the way to North Carolina on this day, and I'm not going to go running on twisty mountain roads in the dark by myself with no headlamp, where people aren't really looking for runners. That's a recipe for getting run over, or trail running without a good lighting is a good way to break an ankle. So took it as a rest day. Then the next day, went out and got 4 miles in, 1,000 feet of elevation gain, which if you notice, total elevation gain, in Ruston, I get maybe 1,500 a week, sometimes 1,000. So, that was a decent amount of elevation gain for just an easy 4-mile run. I was definitely a little tight, but after driving, but it wasn't too bad. And the next day, I went out, got one more run in the mountains, decided to go run for an hour, got another 1,400 feet of elevation gain in there, and definitely rolled my left ankle at about mile 4, kind of started walking back towards the car. After a couple minutes, kind of loosened up, so I decided to start running again. So, it ended up being an awesome run. Running in the mountains of North Carolina is amazing. I rolled my ankle, had to make use of the facilities behind a bush, and it still was an awesome. I wasn't running very fast, obviously, and it was still an awesome day. It was still way more fun than any run I've done here in Ruston lately, with the exception of maybe some of those speed workouts. But then we got back in the car and we drove home. It was super hot when we got back to Louisiana, and not being able to start workouts until later in the day, results in me being on the treadmill. So I ended up doing 8 miles on the treadmill. I don't know why my watch wasn't measuring it right, but it was 8 miles at 7:30 pace. Kind of easy pace indoors. At the very least, though, I at least got to look out the big window over the pool and see some trees and stuff. I wasn't in the weight room. The next day, wasn't able to start until almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I was back on the treadmill for another 4 miles at 7:30 pace. And by then, like the fifth tarsal joint on my left foot was getting a little sore. And I think it was because of the mechanics issues running on the treadmill. And I also think I ran the shoes I was running in on Tuesday. They're just dead. I need to retire them. And then Wednesday morning, 5 a.m. track session. I wasn't going to miss it, but it was thundering and lightning just outside of town. And so we were dumb and went and did a short speed work in the thunder and lightning. It didn't really rain on us. And the thunder and lightning stayed away, but don't do that. That's not safe. Spent most of the workout kind of just feeding off of Troy. The heart rate got up, obviously. We're, spiking it pretty good a couple times. Running about interval pace. But it felt pretty good. Apparently, while I was gone, that week I was gone, they did a ladder workout. So it felt kind of good to kind of stretch that pace we've been running for 400s lately. Just kind of try to stretch it to 800s. And so that's kind of what we do. I kind of let Troy lead for the first 4, 5, 600 meters, and then kind of slowly take over and follow home because I was trying to run just a little bit faster than him. It was really humid, but it was definitely cooler. But if you look at that first 400, we just ran a nice smooth 76. The first 800 was a little slower than I wanted to be going. It was only 234. And you can see we're taking about equal recovery here, which is about what we needed to be doing. So we ran, 234, 230, 231. So those last two were kind of right on it. And then that last 400, we kind of opened up and I ran a 71. Felt like I had a little more in the tank. Heart rate wasn't super high, but it definitely felt pretty good. Felt like a good way to kind of end the day. And so we just got some easy miles in. I got to run with a couple other runners, just kind of some easy miles around the track and the loop. Went up to hit the trail a little bit on Friday, got some easy miles in there. At the park this weekend while I was coaching, ended up getting about almost a 10K in. Well, run 5, 10 minutes, stop, coach, run 5, 10 minutes, coach. But I was able to kind of put the hammer down and kind of do about a 1.5 mile threshold pace towards the tail end of that. Just trying to catch one of my runners who was on the other side of the lake, essentially. But so it was a good little workout. Definitely harder than it looks like I was running just from straight numbers. But it was a good workout. It was a good day. And then did 6 striders afterwards, and that felt pretty good too. Kind of working some of the kinks out. Got some recovery miles in. And because it was the first week I'd run for 7 days straight, I was pretty tired on Monday. So I took Monday off. Instead of doing my long run like I normally plan, I ended up taking Monday off. And I ended up doing kind of a progression run this Tuesday, about 6.5 miles, but my car's in the shop. So I got about a mile in running 2 practice in the morning, and then I ran another mile just kind of staying limber with one of the cross-country guys while my folks were doing their cool down. And then after that, I got my 6.5 mile in, or 6.4 mile run in, and that felt pretty good. That 5-ish progression with a 1.5 easy mile cool down. And then yesterday morning, we went out, did some speed work. It was hot and humid, even at 5 o'clock in the morning. But again, we started with a hard 400 this week, just to kind of really open up the tanks and kind of get going, because we were all trying to get out of there to get kids ready for school and that kind of stuff. Now school started. So that first one I ran at 67, and then I was planning on running a handful of 800s, somewhere between 4 and 6 probably. I ended up running 4 because we were tanked. We were taking a lot of extra recovery, and I think we were working a little too hard. But that first one was only 234. I think this is where it's been a while since I kind of paced myself doing speed work. The last couple weeks just speeding off of Troy. And so I think that first lap on the 234 was a little slow. But yeah, and Doc was hopping in for the first 400 of these, and he was doing 400-meter repeats. So he was kind of tagging right behind me and then ducking out for the second half of it. The second one did 227, which felt much better, 226, 229. This one was a little slower. Wasn't trying to kill it per se, but it definitely felt about right. So, and then, you know, a little 2-mile cool down. And then today, we just got, you know, ran a mile to practice, and then, you know, got an easy 4 miles in on the loop. Nice little recovery run. So overall, last couple weeks, total volume, it's kind of been a little spiky. You know, we had that week that I wanted to push the recovery week to this week and couldn't quite do it. So we jumped up to 41, which has kind of been where we've been, 41, 41. 22 miles on the recovery week, really low. Then back up to 41, 32 while training. I'll take it. You know, we had a longest long run in months, so I'll take it. And then we also had a pretty good quality run in the mountains. And then, you know, back up to 41 last week. And this week, I think we're on target to hit about, I think the plan is to hit somewhere between 40 and 45 miles total. We'll see how we're feeling by the end of the week. Yeah, so that's been the last month or so in a nutshell. Training's been a little erratic because of traveling and school starting for the elementary schools. We got another week and a half or so until tech starts, at which point the home life will definitely settle down. You know, kind of things kind of back in the normal college town routine, so to speak. We got all our workouts penciled out. I don't write anything in ink until it's like a couple days beforehand or the day of, just because it's important to be able to modify things on the fly, you know, respond to how your body's feeling. So we got those workouts penciled in. So we're going to be getting ready for Chili Pepper. We got just a couple weeks left, about 6 weeks or so. It's going to be good. I'm excited about some of the workouts we got coming up. The mileage is going to jump a little bit over the next couple weeks, and we're going to really kind of dial in, get some more 5K specific kind of training. You know, we've been doing some, but we're going to try to clean it up a little bit, make it a little more specific as we kind of dive into stuff. And I will admit, I'm already kind of eyeing the next couple of races, maybe. There's one in November I'm kind of looking at. That's a last man standing race. So it'll be completely different than, you know, running a fast 5K, because essentially it's running a 5K every 45 minutes or so. And then after a couple loops, they drop down. Eventually it's, you know, every half hour you got to start. And if you don't make it back for the next one, you're out. But it's definitely, it's got just a cash prize. It's on trails, so it'll be a little bit different. I have a feeling a bunch of ultra runners will show up. So it could be kind of an interesting race. I don't know, I'm still on the fence about it. And then we'll also, or probably we'll end up going to Springfield, Missouri for the Run for the Ranch. The last Saturday of the year. I think it's on December 29th this year. But yeah, that'll be December 28th. And that'll be a fun race. So get the crew together up there, kind of have a good time. So we are going to rearrange the publishing schedule a little bit, just to kind of better match my weekly work schedule and everything else we got going on, and to make it more likely stuff actually gets put out on time. So the training blog, I think we're going to try to get out on Fridays now, I think. We're going to switch the blog post to Thursdays, and we'll do the other training video on Tuesdays. So I think it'll end up switching around so that videos come out Tuesday and Friday, and the blog post is on Thursday, instead of having video posts on Monday and Thursday and blog posts on Friday. So hopefully this means stuff gets out on a more routine schedule on time for you guys, so you don't miss anything. So we're all stay stoked about getting stuff done without me, you know, scrambling and being under the gun right out of the gate Monday morning. So, but yeah, it'll be good. Anyway, make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell down here. Share this with your friends, family, anyone you think would be interested. The more support we get, the more we can do stuff like this. And yeah, we're going to be doing some cool coaching technique videos here pretty soon too. So keep your eyes peeled for those. So until next time, train smart.